Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM22 Career Mode, episode number 95. And we are still in the early part of the season. We're still in Australia. It's the Cadell Evans Great Ocean Road Race. I don't know how many smaller World Tour races I'm going to bother with this season, but at least here early on, I feel up for throwing in at least a few before we move kind of straightforward into monuments and grand tours and focus solely on those. We had a lot of time with some grand tours of late, and I'd like to get back to our roots and enjoy some of the more minor races that are out there and exist. We've got 21K to go. The breakaway has been caught. This is not flat into the finish, but it's very much a sprint stage. And we are coming up on the point where you've got to get on with it. But the chase of the break has been enough so that you can see our domestiques, at least. All four of them are, or three of them, and plus Schwartz, are feeling it. I mean, they are definitely feeling it. And it's time to actually gel up for two of them anyway, as they're going to be taking over here in just a moment. I'm going to wait about one more K. We want to do it before the climb because we know that climb's going to be intense, even though it's short. Let's go around that corner, and here we go. 16K to go. Those two should have their gel kick in a moment. We'll also get, actually, it looks like Schwartz is going to have to go before Huggins, so we'll get him third in line with Guzman going first. Those last three should be nice. All right, so our first Guamanian since the beginning set of contracts, and already the national champion of Guam, Guzman, heading out. He's got a 73 flat, more of a time trialer and classics kind of guy, and he's definitely not going to last through the climb, but that's okay. We'll get on with Bianche, and this is more about setting up the sprint train than anything else. Peters is a bit out of position here, so we don't want to be pushing like crazy. But you can see that there's a group of guys trying to attack. That Bianche has already countered as he goes over the top. And we're going to leave Bianche out front for just a moment as they kind of reset on the descent. And then, I already told you to go, but it didn't recognize my click. Guzman's already been dropped. Schwartz has taken over. Huggins. And then we're at 10K to go. There's one more little hill on the way, plus the finish as a little hill in kind of the lead up to that. Schwartz is done. But he did have us out front, so that's okay. Now Huggins, now 8K. Okay, here is that last little hill with 7.5K to go. Has Peters recovered his position? Yes, he has. He's all set. He's ready to go, and that's the last hill, or last proper hill in the books. So there is that last little one, but we're down to 3 guys, and we still have 6K to go. I was clicking Mikkels, but as Schwartz gets dropped, it shifted everybody, and it ended up taking Peters about a K earlier than I wanted it. Hopefully he will still have his run in. We're down to 3K. McKellar's out of red bar, but he's still leading out. Mikkels will take over and has to take over now. He's got to get us up in position. Okay, Mikkels sprinting. This is not a good position. And Peters has a decent run here, but can he get enough to get over the top? He's not even going to get a podium. It looks like it's going to be 5th. 7th? Wow, okay. Right. That's, that was 4th, and I was going, the bike throw never goes our way. It'll be 5th. Didn't see 7th coming on that one. That was BS. Those 6 guys, he's half a bike length ahead of the guys he was half a bike length ahead of Gourmet. Charles, Hajduk, I mean, but no way. No way was he only 7th on that bike throw, but time and time again, you see it. You see that you're clearly ahead as you're approaching the line, and they get you on the bike throw all the time in this year's version of the game. Jake Stewart takes the win, though, ahead of Sam Bennett and favorite Caleb Ewan. Peters was on a 0 race day condition, so he had no bonuses. And we didn't have the strength heading in those final kilometers. Those guys exhausted much too early, even though we didn't push them that hard. They were a bit tired in the lengthy run-up towards the finish, I suppose. A lot of red It wasn't terrible race day conditions, but a lot of red, I think, just took it out of the legs a bit, and they just didn't have as much left. There's only 2 little hills. I mean, they should have easily been able to manage that, and we were never pushing 99. But anyway, it happens. Next up will be the UAE Tour. Move over UAE Tour. Welcome to the Omloop Het Nieuwsblad. Just decided that we'd rather get involved with this race at this time, and we go to hit our second sector of the day and our first 3-star sector of the day. Roughly halfway through the race already. 10 riders off front with a 2-minute advantage. This is something that for the first time, classics-wise, came into this excited, going, hey, this is our year. We finally are getting a strong team, a good team for classics. And then this bloody mess, this field of red in race day condition emerged with 4 guys combining for -10. Fortunately, at least only being a -6 overall, but Bianche being the only rider with a good race day condition. It does give him a 83 flat, a 79 cobble, and it makes him competitive. But he's not a winner, not with those kind of sprinting abilities. So to try to get something out of this, it's going to take more. Mikkels could be that guy. Peters, probably not that guy, because he's the only one here that is pretty rubbish when it comes to cobble rating, but we will protect him just in case. You can see Hoggins is getting used up quite quickly. He's supposed to be pretty damn decent, but he's only got a 70 stamina and just really struggling through this with his -3. Down to 68k. We need to get water, and he is my water guy, so let's go ahead and send him back to do that. There's a little hill coming. Hopefully that doesn't destroy Hoggins as we go to hit the hill. Does he have his water? No, he does not have his water, so he's kind of still just holding his position at the moment. Uri is struggling here. We need to work on getting him back forward. We're going to have to start upping the effort of these guys to hold their positions, as this is that type of race where getting caught back too far can absolutely ruin your day, because you're going to see splits. And those splits, as we're already starting to see the first of splits, catching some guys out, they're going to have to recover. So as we continue on here, that's a problem. Speaking of a problem, that split, Hoggins is done with his water task now, but Bach and Peters don't have water yet, so Bach's going to have to go grab water for Peters and hopefully get back up there before those guys, before this gap is bridged. 2 tired domestiques here in this group, 5 guys overall. Very likely that this group easily regains position, and hopefully does so, especially now that 60 riders have been split off. Where is Bach and the water? Okay, he's handing it to Peters now, and that's done. Peloton back together, but it does split up once again, and this time we've got most everybody in the front group, with 2 guys not quite making it back up there, and that is Bianche, who's going to have to up his effort if they do bridge that gap. You want him to get forward ASAP, and these guys are very much at the tail end. Need them to recover position. Like Uri's going to have to push a bit harder to get back up there. Vandenberg is done. He's going to be fading, so Uri is the next guy in line. We need him to protect Mikkels. And Vandenberg drops to automatic, as he will be fading out here shortly enough. Hoggins also just about done on his protection task here with Bianche. And we're going to try to move Bianche forward soon, because we've got a little climb and a cobbled sector. This is a good time for positions to change rapidly. So Bianche trying to move forward before things split off again. We've got a little bit of time before we enter. Actually, we have a good amount of time before we hit our next 2 cobbled sectors on those last 2 climbs. Those are going to be decisive. We have 4 short hills coming up in the next little bit. And you can see that Bianche is now getting back up there where we need him to be. And Peters is doing well so far. Mikkels is doing well so far. So we will continue to ride for them. So Bianche can be used to protect Peters as he is hanging on well enough. Those last two uphill cobbled sectors are going to be challenging. But if Peters is doing well enough, he might just make it through those. And there we go. Bianche finally getting back in position and ready to sit up. Hoggins is going to be out the back here soon. They still have two guys. Yeah, Bach is still hanging in there. Bach is protecting Peters. So Bianche, go ahead and ride behind Peters. And let's also start pushing you guys at 85, knowing that pace is going to pick up. We're down to 7 off the front, 5 of those just over a minute ahead. Peloton, for the moment anyway, is at 61 riders and decreasing in time. We just hit, I think, the second of those hills, or was it the third? Second. These next two are much shorter than those last two are going to be the decisive moments where you definitely want to be in place. Bach, for now, is still protecting Peters, but he's got very little in the tank. But that was the hill. We're going to come around and hit another one. Down and now up. Breakaway's been caught, and you're getting a big acceleration. But actually, it looks like some of those guys are getting off the front and potentially staying off the front. But Ineos, in response, accelerate to pull that back. Bahrain Victorious also looks to be getting somebody to bridge that gap. And it's 54 chasing 9. And this is it. Okay, this is the time. So Bach has done his job to keep Bianche fresh. But for now, Bach doesn't have enough to really be bothered with. So Uri is going to go forward. I do not like his position here, so we're going to have to put him on a 99. I want the other guys to hold for just a second as Uri tries to flash through. There we go. And then Bianche will get in line behind him. Oh, Mikkels. That's Bach up front. Mikkels is already back here. Everyone but Peters. There we go. Now Peters needs to get his acceleration going. And that brings us right to the front as we hit this hill. 4 stars, 800 meters, and Uri going hard. He used up his red bar, but if he can... Nope, he's done. On to Bianche. 18K. I was hoping Uri would get us all the way through that first climb, as you still have some guys off the front here. Go ahead and put him to auto. It's just a puncture, so no injuries to worry about. Just 22 left in the peloton, 3 left off the front. 1 more decisive climb to get through. And then, of course, we don't want those guys getting away up the road. But Bianche will come up on that last one. 3 stars. This one's not as bad, but it is a little bit longer. Okay, that red bar is about gone, and then we will 99 him. 2 guys are Van der Poel and Moscon. Difficult to pull back, but for now we are making some progress on that. But Mikkels and Peters are not doing great. That's that cobble rating. He's really struggling through there. Is he still going to be here? He, for now, is dropped, but he is trying to bridge that gap. And Bianche is only pushing so hard, so fast, but Peters is going to have to just ride on, and if they bridge that gap, Bianche is done. Mikkels needs to follow Grimay. No, no, no. No! Hey, 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 hey. Come on, game. You gotta be kidding me. Bianche. Wait for this rider. I don't think the heart rate's going to drop enough, but get back there and protect Peters if they bridge the gap there. Mikkels. That wasted all his energy. Hajduk on the attack. Looks like we're going to be fighting for second place here. Bianche, I told you to wait for him, not to attack. What the... Okay, Peters getting back up here is a good thing. 16 now chasing 1. Van der Poel trying to attack once again. 2 riders attacking. Now's the response. 6.7k. Bianche just holding position, trying to set us up, but that's 3 guys off the front. 2 of them very close. Looks like they're going to get pulled back, but it looks like Hajduk has won this thing. 5k to go. No. Bianche, you are 99, hold position. Let's make your position a bit higher up on, like, say, Kung. Hajduk is getting away. Ineos is, of course, happy to have that happen. But with 3k, I'm clearly riding for second place, and so is everybody else. With 3k, we are going to go up for Bianche. Nichols, Peters, we got a lead out, something the others don't have. 2.3k, that is sprint territory for Bianche. And you can see he doesn't hurt Nichols much. And now with 1.4k, they've had themselves a very solid lead out. Downside is we are not racing for the win. We are racing for second place. And Peters has a little bit left, 700 meters to go. Can he, red bar wise, hang on? He does not. He's going to just miss the podium. Would have been a podium if not for Hajduk getting away. It's Philipsen, it's Girmay. Peters, it's a top 5. Considering how weak he was cobble wise and his struggles over those last 2 climbs, and how many domestiques were struggling much earlier, I was a little surprised that Bianche, Nichols, Peters put something together, especially considering all 3 of them were toast with 15k to go. The fact that we were able to set up, get a little bit of recovery, and then take that collection of 3 guys and put a sprint together at the end with that small amount of energy, that's a pretty good result. The podium would have been nice because we did get 3rd in the sprint, but again, you know, Hajduk had escaped and nobody was chasing him down. They knew that he had it at that point. It was just the fight for the podium, and so close. We're not doing horseshoes, we're not doing hand grenades. Close doesn't matter, but hey, it's a top 5. And for us, as weak as we have been in the classics, top 5 and a top 10 and a top 20 with 3 guys, that's progression. And we're on to Strade Bianche just as it's getting started. Not a lot of red today like we saw for the last race, and we still managed to do pretty well. Can we do better here? Strade Bianche, this is the kind of version that is going to be classified, but it's going to be a lot of like 1-star, maybe some 2-star type stuff. None of the team is starting in the front, really half of the field, and that's a little problematic as we get set. But Coetzee, the only 0 race day condition guy, which is a wonderful sign. There were things like Abner Gonzalez was on an expected +5. This is one of his objectives. He's got his fitness peak right now as well, so he's sitting on that maximum range and got it. But Piccioni wasn't. Piccioni was expected to have +1 or 2, something like that. Others were expected +1s. There was quite a few of those. I mean, our expected race day condition was decent. I'd say as a group it was probably a +9. We got a lot more than that, so it's a nice race day condition, and certainly makes up for the poor one that we got at Omloop Het Nieuwsblad. I did change out the team a little bit from what the AI had selected, just swapping. We literally had our lowest cobble rated rider and probably our 3rd lowest cobble rated rider both selected for today's team, so I swapped those 2 out with guys with much better ratings. It's not a major factor for this race, but it's absolutely a factor, and a really poor rating is going to make it a lot harder. But there's a fair bit of climbing to do. Gosh, I'm already set on 75. This wasn't 70s. We're just not happy with the 5 that are in the break. Somebody doesn't like someone, because it's definitely not quantity. That's quality of one of the riders as we hit the first gravel sector. This is not a cobbled race, it's a gravel race. And it is a beaut. This really should be the 6th monument. even though it's a relatively young race. Very enjoyable one. Alright, we are down to Piccioni. Still trying to get forward. We've got to make up our minds here soon. This one's 2 stars, so some of these gravel sectors are a little bit harder than others. Piccioni, this is a lot of effort. Hey, McKellar, where'd you come from, buddy? Breakaway, GS got caught, so McKellar did not have to do anything crazy there. He was not leading that pace himself. But we need to make up our mind on who do we want to ride for. Now, McKellar, great flat rating. McKellar's got to be one of those guys. Huggins certainly could be one of those guys. Piccioni will not be. He's not a sprinter. He's not got a great cobble or flat rating. He can climb, and that's his purpose of being here. So we just said Huggins and can climb. Not the worst sprinter. Good ratings today, but probably not our guy. Uri's got wonderful flat cobble rating and can sprint a bit, but he's not much of a climber. Martinez can climb, but he can't do the other parts. So him protecting somebody like Uri could be a good combination, where Gonzalez rides solo. Yes, I like that idea. And there you go. We've got our 3 leaders on the day. 143 kilometers left to go, and we ended up with a 1-man breakaway. Just one. And let's get up here. Lavelle, 73 sprint, 78 flat, 76 cobble, but 67 mountain, 74, and riding solo. So unless we give him 20 minutes, he's not winning today. For now, he's got 4 minutes. We are through the last graveled sector for a little while. Next up, though, is the biggest climb of the day, as Jonathan Restrepo crashes and drops behind the group there momentarily, but he catches back up pretty quick, such is the pace that we have right now. The Montalcino, 5.5K, 5%. We're set on 75s. Should handle that just fine. And just before the peak of this, we'll want to get water for the first time as we're down to 120K. Alright, so we've got water, 110K to go. We're going to go up this little hill, and then on this plateau, this is almost all gravel. 3 straight graveled sectors, back to back to back, but the first one's just 1 star. If we see more than 1 star, we're going to slow things down for a moment because we're only doing a 75. Still 1 star. Bit more undulating through here, but it's okay, as the tempo's not bad. 5 minutes, we are starting to pull this guy back, so we are speeding up. But you can see the 75 is not hurting us. We slow down a little bit. There's no blinking. So position's okay, but I do think we're starting to get stretched on that 75 effort. And we've got 86K to go, so water is going to be a thing here fairly soon. And while we're on this flat, this actually really might be the best time, even though it is a bit early for it. This is the calm before the storm. And I don't know if we're ever going to really get a good opportunity once again. And you can see water-wise, we got it right at the 120. It's been 40K, and they've barely touched their water. So I think they can hang on for 80K. And you can see with Kotze, it's already down to 75. He's got the water now just starting to head back. He might have an issue in the final kilometers, but we won't see much of him. He'll be on auto, and he can get his water with more than 10K to go. It's about the other guys. 1 star. 1 star, but undulating and presumably going to be with more tempo, and that was why I set this up. But as you can see, we're already down to 72K, and so it's not too early any longer. It was a bit early for Kotze, but it's not too early for his teammates. You can see he still hasn't even gotten water to anyone other than Huggins and Uri so far.
This climb is feared by many riders. The percentages
Now
are
he's going to come
high.
through as we hit this steeper climb through this part. And that is done. We got water, 68K to go. Yeah, just fine on positioning time of that process. So long gravel sector here, but it's only 1 star, and again, we're still only pulling back 1 guy. By now, usually this race has started to blow up. But we are starting to see an acceleration here. We saw momentary splits in the field. It's not mega speed that we're putting on, but it's definitely something. And we are going to have to increase our effort. Yes, we are. The blinking red has emerged. So up to an 80. Put in more effort to hold that position, as it is pretty important here, as you can and will see a lot of splits with the constant undulation, and even though they're mild, those gravel sectors can still split the field. And next up's a 2-star one and a lengthy one with a couple hefty climbs, 11.5K. Even an 80 is not going to do it. Let's up to an 83. Who is the furthest back? It's Martinez, but he's on protect. He is protecting Uri. So Uri is really the one to kind of keep an eye on here. Martinez is the climber to protect Uri. He is still technically protected, as Martinez is just behind him. I have no idea how we're wearing the number 1 jersey. Did we win this last year? And here you can see just how quickly that going over the top right there stretches things out, and you're seeing the groups yo-yo just a bit. Uri's going to have to push harder. He's just not quite keeping his position. You can see now with the 85, he's making his way forward finally. Still in the same sector, 2 stars. And fatigue's starting to settle in, but only for Kotze, really. And we just saw another split, 48. Now 57, as one group that was just off the back of that regains contact. So it's 55, 54, chasing 1. This might be your leader's group. This might hold. 45K to go, by the way. Kotze, Martinez starting to feel it. Remember, Martinez does not have the gravel rating, so this really, really long, or cobble rating, this really long gravel sector just doesn't translate very well, even though he's a good climber. And the combination of the two is hurting him. Alright, well, we've definitely got a period of time now with some rolling hills. Our leaders are in really good shape, all 4 of them. Piccioni's looking okay still. Martinez is hanging in there, and Kotze is on his edge. And as we enter the coming sectors, it's 44 guys chasing 1. He still has a 2-minute 50-second advantage, but you know, with the pace, at some point, it's going to make him blow. He's not going to have anything left. As 4 guys attack, Filippo Zana, the first of those, it's instantly being countered. Now 1 guy is getting clear, but only 10 seconds, so he's not making any progress. And the 250 gap is suddenly down to 1:14. And that 1 rider who's being chased, which is Bagioli, he's being chased pretty hard. But here we go, 25K to go. And this is the real deal kind of stuff. Let's get this party started, huh? We don't want to go crazy on the first one, but we want to be near the front. And Martinez is going to be the first guy to go, and Gel, and then Piccioni to follow him. We're going to try to put Kotze just straight to the back because he's got nothing left. Kotze not amongst those, but now he is dropped, and now it's at 16, and you got 4 more hanging out at the back end, just struggling to keep up, but they seem to have, at least for the moment, made their contact. 19K to go. Coming back together a little bit, but I do feel like a good climber in Martinez, though bad cobble rated guy, is going to catch Bagioli quite quickly and get through one of the worst climbs that remain in this thing. Gonzalez are now a front 3, but here we are with a front 8 with Bagioli, who we know is done, and Ida Schelling. And that is the front of the field. 17K to go. Those guys are going to go crazy trying to catch up to us. And if we're lucky with a 33-second advantage, they won't manage to do it. It's 25 seconds right now, though. So they are probably just behind. If you look behind us, I would imagine they're just a few bike lengths back. That's actually a decent gap. That is a decent gap right there. Well, let's keep going. Piccioni, by the way, you're up, so gel time. And we go over another hill.
15 kilometers
And the back group is burying themselves to try to get to us. Now it's just 13 riders. And just like that, they've made that contact. Really? From a 94? Wow. Dang, you guys. How did you catch us in, like, less than 1K? It destroyed that group, though. I mean, it really did. There's only 14 now, and we've got 5 of them. And Piccioni's still leading the way. 1 star. Gonzalez, you can see he's a little bit slower through there, so he's having a harder time keeping up with Piccioni. Okay, Martinez got dropped, by the way. He is in the second group on the road. Latour, Stuyven, Bugli, Foss, and Schmid. That's a lot of guys. Pitcock, Schachman. Matthews is back there. Sivikov. Oh, we're having a heck of a race right now. Yes, we are. 14 left at the front, though. Up with us, Plumiers. Hershey. Bagioli is still around. Schelling is still around. Frigo. Now 2 more are dropped.
10 kilometers remaining.
Down to 10. A lot of these guys are right on their edge, and yet here I am with 5 of the 10 favorites that remain in this thing and 9K to go. Piccioni's going to push harder. He's got no red bar, so not full 99, but we are going to go 97 with him, and Gonzalez is going to go ahead and gel up because he will take over. We're back up to 11 riders, even though Piccioni was going to 97 and actually had recovered a little bit of red bar, but now full 99. We've got one guy kind of yo-yoing. Let's keep the group fully under pressure, as you know, I don't need all 5 of them on the lead up to the end. The finish, though, is going to be tough. The finish is going to be tough. That's not easy, and this is the penultimate climb just before that. Let's gel up for Uri
This climb is feared by many riders. The
and
percentages
Huggins
are very
and
high.
McKellar. 5K. Down to 9. We just dropped a couple more guys.
5 kilometers.
And Piccioni is done. So on to Gonzalez. Piccioni, break that toe real quick if you can. Love to see them suddenly escape. Down to 8. And we have 5 of them. Piccioni's still in the group, and we're entering the final climb with Schelling still here. He's only a 72 mountain, though he does have a 79 hills. But he's been up with us for a while, working hard to stay here. Hershey, though, 80 hills. I mean, he's fantastic. 73 cobble, 79 acceleration. And Plumer, 78 cobble, 74 flat, but only, he's weaker. Man, I'm liking our chances outside of Hershey being scary good. Scary good for him, and we're already going full 99. Piccioni has a little bit of energy, so as we continue to push up the hill, he's going to actually kind of set this thing up. 2.5K to go. And I'm going to send Gonzalez on the attack now. Force those guys to go early.
And they keep on attacking. Anyone that's low on gas definitely won't be able to
That's
keep
Plumier
up.
leading out Schelling. Where is Hershey's marking Piccioni? And we still have McKellar, who's, you know, the most capable puncher, sprinter, but Hoggins is looking good. Oh, that's an 81 for Gonzalez. Man, oh man. Yeah, keep going. Already through the cobbled bit. 900 meters. Uri, you're going to start your sprint. Gonzalez is out of red bar, by the way. And so we need to get on with the sprinting portion, but 800 meters. This is now about can you get through, because it's so damn technical. Gonzalez is at the front, but I mean, this is sprint territory for everybody. Gonzalez has the front, but he's not going to win the throw. These guys are somehow attacking when Gonzalez is not. He's on sprint. He's on sprint. He has red bar, yet he has made 0 attack attempt here at the end, and yet both Schelling, Plumiers, Hershey, Uri, Like everybody else in the group is attacking, except the one guy who's in the best position and has the energy. Uri has significantly less red bar, but is attacking, and Gonzalez is not. Now, is that because he's a weak sprint? That's a 71-75. That's matching Schelling. That's better than Plumers, who's going to win this damn thing. You got to be kidding me. I mean, that's absurd how the AI just... They've done us dirty. They've done us dirty. Gonzalez had the race won. Gonzalez should have won that race today. And he was the only one in the front group that didn't sprint. Piccioni does get dropped right at the end, finishes 8th. Now, it's still a wonderful race. 3rd, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 17th. But, come on! Can't blame Gonzalez. That's the game. The game just did us dirty. Big time. Everybody gets out of their saddle, but the guy who is best positioned. If he sprints even a little, he's got it. It's too technical at the finish. It is way too technical at the finish to overtake. And he had the best position easily. Incredibly disappointing finish on that one. But, bottom line, back-to-back, cobble rated. Yes, this was gravel, but cobble rated classics. With us being very competitive. Not getting the win, but that should have been one. And it's good to see. It is good to see. It's disappointing the outcome on this one from what it could have and should have been. But, man, oh man, it's good to see that we are finally a competitive classics team. I know I had some excitement last year and then we had issues. And it just didn't pan out. It didn't come together, if I'm remembering correctly from last season. So it's good to finally be up there. That is going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.